if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you will do good to those who do good to you, what credit is due to you? Indeed, even sinners behave in this way. This is in chapter 6 of Luke's Gospel. In the spirit of interfaith dialogue, with the intention of enhancing our shared appreciation of each other's faiths, let's do a reading, an excerpt of this wonderful spiritual book. It's called Comfortable with Uncertainty. The author is a lovely woman named Pema Chodron. We're going to celebrate the ideas and message of this excerpt and see it in the appreciation of Christ. It's page 73, chapter 37, called The Practice of Compassion. We cultivate compassion to soften our hearts and also to become more honest and forgiving about when and how we shut down without justifying or condemning ourselves. We do the courageous work of opening to suffering. This can be the pain that comes when we put up barriers, or the pain of opening our heart to our own sorrow, or that of another being. We learn as much about doing this from our failures as we do from our successes. In cultivating our experiences, in cultivating compassion, we draw from the wholeness of our experience, our suffering, our empathy, as well as our cruelty and terror. It has to be this way. Compassion is not a relationship between our healer, the healer, and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. Only when we know our own darkness well can we be present with the darkness of others. compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. And in this excerpt, I have it squigglied up because of the lights going off in my head about, oh my, from my lens of Christianity, from my lens of the teachings of my rabbi, Jesus Christ, I see that we have to, in having compassion for ourselves, we have to look at ourselves and see, am I loving myself? Am I being loving toward myself? Because that's the beginning of loving my neighbor. Sometimes we read way too fast. We're celebrating speed reading even. I can read so many books. I can go through 300 books in a year. Well, this is the this feather in the cap, the trophy on the mantle thing to be so righteous about, yet we may be skimming, we may be only touching the surface, we only appreciate the tip of the iceberg and say, there, that's the entire mass, just that visible section of the iceberg, that's it. And so we're tempted to have a superficial definition of productivity, of efficiency, of the scale, the quantitative aspect of life, and be unappreciative of the qualitative aspect of life. How does this sit with me when I read, love your neighbor just as you love yourself? We're in a huge challenge in this culture with our new technology, our relatively new relationship with screens and non-stop. What are my peers saying at this at this instant? What is the highlight that they're expressing on platforms at our digital public squares? So we're looking at our new relationship with technology, and we're not asking ourselves yet, how does this sit with me? Am I still achieving love for myself in the context of all of this digital technology? That's the beauty of deep contemplation, deep reflection is, let's go back at this, let's hit the refresh and look at this again, this commandment. Love that person as much as you love yourself. And loving yourself, what is that? What is that in actions? The language of love. What is that? To love myself. Hygiene, personal hygiene, taking a bath or a shower or cleaning up. That's an act of self-love, hygiene. everything can be seen in terms of hygiene. Everything in nature, we're shedding our skin all the time, so we have to shed our minds of old decomposing thoughts, put them away in the soil, let them be exposed to the cyclical nature of seasons. Let time be something that is your friend. Be in alignment with time. What does that mean? To align myself with time? It means look at it go. Look at it go. We have theories of how creation begins, if there is even a beginning, or if you believe in the infinity of creation, then there is no beginning. There's just eternal sequences, and we are endowed with infinite wisdom. We can pray, I ask to be of service to the highest good. I ask to be of service to this, whatever is the highest power. I ask to be aligned with that. That's what alignment means. To align myself with time means to, it's already moving. Time is a dimension. And it's like aligning yourself is seeing the desk in front of you and supporting your weight on it with your elbow. And that metaphor, that analogy for time is where we put our thoughts away, old thoughts. Let me put all my, I relinquish all of these old thoughts. I want to see this like a newborn baby. I want to see this like through the eyes of a child. Brand new, fresh wonder, marvelous, excitement, exuberance, the aliveness, the paradoxical, calm yet intense aliveness of nature. I want to realign myself with that natural proclivity. My glasses are fogging up. So I can call upon that in deep reflection and bring myself anew and allow myself to see how I can support the highest good, how I can support the truth that is independent of my observation, yet I am deeply appreciative of being able to observe that truth in creation. So loving myself, being in alignment with time, good hygiene, meaning shedding the old thoughts. These old thoughts, I don't know if they served me, so I'm shedding them, and if they do serve me, they'll come back to me like a boomerang. And I'll be right as rain, replenishing dry soil. The energy of love, the commitment to love oneself, means asking the question, am I doing anything that is causing self-harm? Maybe I have made choices I now regret, and there is a process of reformation taking place so that I don't do that again. And I can be renewed with joy, like that child, that squeaky laughter of a child. The newborn, the youth, they'll always be there because they're so freshly assembled by that beautiful design from the infinity of creation that is a mystery to us all. We are new, relatively new to biology. Yet we don't see yet, or we don't know if there is a yet either. We don't yet see the design, the mechanisms behind the transition from particles to organisms, fungi, plant life. We don't yet see them. It's remarkably exciting to acknowledge the mystery is to celebrate our humility. And that humility is another aspect of our self-love. To acknowledge where we can pull levers, where we can manipulate mechanisms toward the betterment of our society, toward our collective quality of life. And this is all just about beginning with like a seed of self-love, so that we may, with open hands, give love to our neighbor, give love to those who are diverse in our community, and we can celebrate the strength, the mutual strength, when we come together in our diverse aspects of life, our shared values, where we celebrate our appreciation of the youth that is growing before us, the youth that is growing up in a pandemic, the youth that are being called to grow up fast. So as so many of our role models share in common that in their youth they were called, they were brought forth in union and leadership to have courageous thoughts, courageous behaviors. And that's beautiful, where we can celebrate our interfaith values, our interfaith dialogue. God bless my Muslim siblings during the Ramadan. God bless you. I appreciate you. Your steadfast faith in the deep mystery and mercy of our Creator. All of that from a wonderful excerpt about how we can have compassion for ourselves, and drawing that compassion that is celebrated in Buddhism to the commandment that I love my neighbor, love those who hate me, just as I love myself.